Okay, it's okay. You ready? Can we start?
Yes, I'm ready.
Okay,
When you want, whenever you want. Yes.
okay, okay. So we start, yeah? Okay? In 5
Maybe
minutes?
if you want to wait 2 minutes, or
Okay, in 5 minutes we will start.
Okay. We are recording now. Second.
okay, we are waiting while people logs in. Okay, we will start in 2-3 minutes.
Okay, fine.
Yes, okay, 2 minutes. Okay, can we start now?
Of course, if you want, it's okay for me.
Okay, so we start. Can you see me, Arya?
Yes, I can. Definitely.
Okay. Selamat siang Bapak Ibu dan teman-teman sekalian. Semoga kita semua diberikan kesehatan ya. Selamat datang dalam acara webinar CYPE Indonesia dengan tema hari ini 3D Architectural Modeling and Graphical Representation with CYPE 2021. Menggunakan salah satu solusi terbaru dari CYPE, yaitu CYPE Architecture yang merupakan salah satu rangkaian webinar nasional CYPE Indonesia yang menggunakan pengantar bahasa Indonesia dan bahasa Inggris. Dan bersama kita sudah hadir International CYPE Expert yang akan menjadi presenter di webinar kali ini, yaitu Miss Maria Adrian, Industrial Engineer and Technical Support Department at CYPE. Webinar kali ini akan berfokus pada apa itu CYPE dan CYPE Architecture, BIM Server dan alur kerja Open BIM pada CYPE, pengenalan fitur dan demo singkat pemodelan arsitektur dan representasi grafis untuk desain. Webinar ini diselenggarakan oleh Archilantis berkolaborasi dengan CYPE Indonesia melalui online forum GoToWebinar. Berikut akan saya bacakan tata tertib untuk peserta selama webinar ini berlangsung. Seluruh mikrofon dan kamera peserta akan dimatikan secara otomatis oleh host. Sesi webinar pada hari ini akan direkam, dan rekaman akan dikirimkan kepada peserta. Kami menggunakan sistem first come first serve bagi peserta yang telah mendaftar. Bagi peserta yang akan mengajukan pertanyaan atau komentar dapat menuliskan pada fasilitas Q&A, kemudian oleh panitia dan moderator akan membacakan pertanyaannya untuk kemudian dapat dijawab oleh presenter, dan moderator dimohon untuk menggunakan kalimat yang singkat, to the point, dan tidak mengandung sara. Pertanyaan akan dijawab oleh presenter dan moderator disesuaikan dengan waktu yang tersedia. Webinar hari ini terbagi dua. Pertama akan saya presentasikan mengenai apa itu CYPE dan bagaimana CYPE, dan CYPE Architecture serta BIM Server Center, dan pada bagian kedua dilanjutkan oleh International CYPE Expert pada webinar hari ini, yaitu Miss Maria Adrian. Baik, saya mulai presentasinya. Are you see my screen,
Yes,
Maria?
perfectly. Yes.
Okay. Ya, Mari kita mulai presentasinya. CYPE versi 2021. Kemampuan terbaru dari CYPE 2021. Jika kita melihat logo ini, mungkin Bapak, Ibu, dan teman sekalian masih ada yang belum paham dan mengerti bagaimana dan seperti apa CYPE itu. CYPE adalah pengembang software yang telah 36 tahun lebih berkiprah dan memiliki 150 software. Terdiri dari 170 profesional dan lebih dari 20 resellers. Dan juga memiliki 100.000 pengguna di lebih dari 60 negara di seluruh dunia. Teknologi Open BIM juga diusung oleh CYPE. Teknologi Open BIM mengutamakan metodologi kerja yang berbasis pertukaran informasi melalui format terbuka. Mulai dari Open and Public Standard Formats, Collaborative Workflow, Information Durability, dan juga Specialist Description. Dalam sebuah Open BIM Project, terdapat 4 buah bagian secara garis besar, dari model pemodelan arsitektur, terus kemudian aplikasi untuk kalkulasi, analisis, dan desain, interoperability, dan juga databases. Untuk aplikasi kalkulasi, analisis, dan desain, CYPE memiliki 36 tahun lebih pengalaman. Dan juga pada tahun 2017, CYPE meluncurkan interoperability platform melalui BIM Server.Center. Dan juga pada tahun 2019 juga meluncurkan Open BIM System. Dan pada 2020, CYPE menelurkan dan meluncurkan CYPE Arsitektur yang merupakan pemodelan arsitektural. Ini adalah diagram dari alur kerja Open BIM yang dibuat ataupun digunakan dalam lingkungan CYPE. Dimulai dari physical models. Physical models ini kemudian dikirimkan melalui BIM Server Center untuk kemudian dapat dibagikan kepada setiap tim yang terlibat dalam proyek tersebut. Dan juga setiap orang yang terotorisasi untuk dapat informasi dari BIM Physical 3 Models tersebut. Kemudian dilakukan analisis dan desain. Setelah dilakukan analisis dari desain dan kalkulasi, maka dikembalikan lagi ke dalam BIM Server.Center. Dan bila masih ada clash ataupun juga masih ada benturan, ataupun juga masih belum sesuai dengan yang diinginkan, maka dapat dikembalikan lagi kepada tim untuk kemudian dikalkulasi ulang ataupun dilakukan analisis dan juga simulasi. Setelah selesai, maka bisa dikeluarkan juga dokumen teknikalnya berupa spesifikasi, perakhiran biaya, terus kemudian gambar kerja, skematik diagram, reports, dan technical documents ini pun juga dapat dikembalikan kepada BIM Server.Center sehingga memperkaya informasi yang disediakan di BIM Server.Center ini. Berikut ini adalah tampilan dari CYPE Suite yang cukup lengkap dari mulai Open BIM, struktur, MEP, CYPE Term, terus kemudian juga dokumentasinya, infrastruktur, maupun juga perhitungan kalkulasi dan estimasi biaya dan kuantitinya. Ini adalah tampilan dari BIM Server.Center. Jika kita lihat ini adalah bangunan dengan hanya slab, rangka, balok. Tapi dengan kita tambahkan informasinya, tentunya akan jadi lebih beda ketika kita melihatnya. Dalam Open BIM, kita juga melakukan pekerjaan dalam waktu yang bersamaan. Idealnya biasanya kita dari arsitektur dulu, kemudian ke struktur kembali ke arsitektur, dari arsitektur kembali lagi ke struktur untuk kemudian didesain. Jika sudah sesuai maka masuk lagi ke fasilitas bangunan atau utilitas, dari fasilitas bangunan kembali ke struktur, dari struktur juga kembali ke arsitektur. Tapi dalam keadaan dengan Open BIM, ini bisa dilakukan paralel. Arsitektur kirim ke struktur, arsitektur kirim ke fasilitas bangunan, atau fasilitas bangunan langsung juga kembali ke arsitektur. Dan ini akan mempercepat dan lebih efisien dalam pekerjaan. CYPE Arsitektur, solusi terbaru dari CYPE untuk pemodelan arsitektur gratis. Dari AFC Builder menjadi CYPE Arsitektur, meningkatkan kapabilitas dari pemodelan AFC Builder yang sudah ada adalah tujuan utama dari program ini. Dari pemodelan 2 dimensi menjadi pemodelan 3 dimensi. Dalam software ini dapat ditemukan alat bantu yang dapat menolong kita menciptakan bangunan yang lengkap dengan tata letak dan volume serta kelengkapan lainnya yang memungkinkan kita untuk memasukkan ide-ide konstruktif secara nyata, dari konseptual menjadi arsitektural. Aplikasi ini juga terkoneksi dengan solusi lain yang disediakan CYPE melalui platform BIM Server.Center untuk melengkapi dan menyelesaikan proyek bersama disiplin lainnya. Kerja individual versus kerja kolaboratif. Tentunya kerja kolaboratif akan menjadi lebih efisien dan lebih efektif dibandingkan kerja individual. Elemen baru juga diperkenalkan melalui aplikasi ini, seperti curtain walls, kisi-kisi, railing, dan kolam untuk semakin melengkapi pemodelan bangunan. CYPE Architecture juga menyatukan modul lain dari aplikasi-aplikasi yang terdapat di CYPE Store, dengan antarmuka yang unik menjadikan desain yang dibuat menjadi lebih cerdas. Dari mulai Open BIM Vertical Connection, Open BIM Suspended Ceiling, Open BIM Water Equipment, Open BIM Residential Furniture, dan Open BIM Office Furniture menjadi CYPE Architecture. Ini adalah rangkaian dari aplikasi ataupun software yang dipunyai oleh CYPE yang paling populer digunakan. Dimulai dari CYPE Architecture, kemudian StruBIM CYPE 3D, StruBIM Steel, CYPE-CAD, dan StruBIM Shear Walls. Untuk mendukung revolusi industri 4.0, CYPE juga melalui BIM Server.Center-nya juga meluncurkan layanan virtual reality. Dengan menggunakan platform yang dibuat oleh Microsoft, sehingga dapat merangkul banyak orang karena penggunanya juga lebih banyak, virtual reality ini juga berguna untuk memudahkan kita mengambil keputusan. Dan juga, selain itu, juga kita dapat mengetahui bagaimana karakteristik bangunan jauh sebelum bangunan itu juga terbangun. Demikian Bapak Ibu sekalian, presentasi saya untuk sesi pertama ini. Jika Bapak Ibu dan teman-teman sekalian memiliki pertanyaan dan ingin mengetahui lebih banyak tentang produk dari CYPE, Bapak Ibu dapat menghubungi saya melalui kemal@arkilantes.com atau juga melalui WhatsApp dengan nomor 08777 034 2087. Oke, demikian kita akan lanjutkan dengan presentasi dari Maria. Oke, Maria, it's now your turn.
Thank you.
You can share your screen now.
I'll do now. Okay. Am I sharing my screen now? Can you see upcoming sessions?
Okay, I can see clearly.
Can you see clearly upcoming sessions? Yes?
Yes.
CYPE Architecture, are you seeing this? Okay, okay. Thank you. Well, hello everybody. I'm glad to be here today with you presenting our programs CYPE Architecture and Open BIM Layout. First of all, I will explain CYPE Architecture, which is our CD. One second, sorry, I have a technical problem here. Our architectural modeling program. Then we will talk about Open BIM Layout, whose main objective is to generate the dimensions and provide the layout of technical drawings using BIM. First of all, I would like to show you how to download the programs, okay? Because as you see in my desktop, I have CYPE Architecture and Open BIM Layout. But how do we get these applications or these programs that are completely free? I would like to say. First, the only thing you have to remember is this address. And write it again, is BIMserver.center. Okay? If you come here, you will have access to our store. Okay? We press here. And then, of course, we can change the language. I'll change to English. All right? And here, if we write architecture, we will find CYPE Architecture. We press here and check it out. Here we have download. We only have to press here and download it. course, in order to do this, we have to register in our website, okay? A process that is completely free. We press here and create an account, all right? I would like to explain something that I think is very useful. That here, in the different programs, we have available resources. If we press here, we can have access to a lot of information regarding the program. So, for instance, we have a little video explaining how to download and install the installation of the program. In case I have gone very fast or anything, we have it here as only 5 minutes video. You can see that. And also little tips how to start with the program, the creation and use of the views, the layers, how to use the reference lines and grids. I think that's quite interesting. And also, there are some seminars that have been held before in English and also in Indonesian. So those of you who are listening from Indonesia, maybe interested in watching this. Okay. So that's all I wanted to say about this. I think, well, remember BIM-server.center in the store, you can download the program very easily. The same with the other program we're going to talk about today. If we write layout, we can have access to OpenBIM layout. Again, completely free of charge. Okay, only pressing here, we started the download process, and then it started. Then if we press here, available resources, again, we have some videos explaining tips how to do certain steps, and if the tutorials have been made before, okay? One important thing I don't want to forget to say is that in case you have any doubt or suggestion or comments, our contact information is this email, support@CYPE.com, okay? Don't hesitate to contact us. We will be glad to hear from you. Okay, so that's about it about the store. I think also I would like to explain that we have the programs I will explain about the workflow. It's very important to have the synchronizer installed. That's what makes that the files upload or download. Okay, so it's when we install a CYPE architecture or OpenBIM layout, we can install the OpenBIM synchronizer at the same time. Okay, this in server.center synchronizer. It can be installed at that moment, or we can install it from here. Again, from here, okay, where it says synchronizer, we press here and download it. Okay. Again, other thing that I think is interesting is the applications. We also have the synchronizer for our mobile or our cell phone. So it can be interesting to share our results with our work team. So if we install this in our cell phone, we can have access to that. All right. Share how we have made more steps, or their opinion, if they want something to be changed. It's a very good tool to manage our projects. Okay. So I want to show you a little bit how looks the one account of BIM-server.center. I'll show my account. If I come here, I write my email and the password I use for this. Access now. Okay, here I have my projects. I have projects that I have made myself and I'm the owner, and also others that I'm only collaborating. And I like to take a look of a project that I have done with a team, okay? Because maybe we'll see how this works. If I press here to the name of my project, we can see here, you can see the 3D, and it has two IFC, the one of the architecture, which I did myself from this part. I mean, like I exported from the CYPE architecture. I exported it to the BIM project. And then my colleague was doing the structure. So I can make it visible, see it at the same time, or maybe I want only one or the other part, make it transparent the way I want, okay? This, of course, can be shared with other collaborators. What I mean with that is that this project has a work team, okay? In this work team, from now is myself and my colleague Hernan, okay, who has the assigned area of structural analysis. But I could invite another user. This user could be somebody of my suggested contacts are my list of contacts that I have in my account, okay. Or I could have with different roles. They could be only I define the participation. They can be a guest that only can see, but cannot make any change. Or maybe I want a collaborator, editor, or moderator that is one that can do anything, okay? Depending on what is my objective, I can have more or less guests or moderators, okay? And then I send the invitation, and if the person wants to continue with the project, accepts it, and can have access to the project, see in their computer or in their cell phone. Okay, more or less that was I want to explain about this. We'll go back to that again, okay, in other moments. Okay. Well, let's start with the program. Before we do an example from the beginning, I would like to show you examples that are completed, so you get a general idea of the potential of the program. Here you can see. I want to say something with this example, okay? An interesting feature of this program is that it has 3 tabs, which are Sketch, Architecture, and Furniture. And what the Furniture one is maybe the most obvious thing. You insert elements, but not only elements that are going to be seen here, but also exported to other programs, which I find interesting because, for instance, if you insert sanitary appliances, they will be seen in the plumbing sanitary system or plumbing water system programs. If you're interested in that, in the building facilities, please go to our next, let's see, I have here, because I really want you to come to the 16th of March, we are doing the plumbing installations, okay? So we'll continue with the examples. Just to, okay, so to make sure that what's the meaning of this, like it will travel to the project and we will be able to see it in other programs, in the other applications, okay? Okay, that's a part of the furniture. Let's go now to the sketch and architecture. The sketch part is the CAD part, the drawings, okay? In this case, you will find the tools you expected in the drawing program as, like, for instance, SketchUp, something similar to that. In talking about the tools, okay? You have lines, arcs, quadrilaterals, circles, ellipses, polygons, and the kind of operations you can do with that, like extrude, intersect, copy, symmetry, things like that, okay? In this moment, when you are, the sketch part is a part for when you are thinking about the building, or not, or it can be where you draw the elements like the trees, the cars, elements that are going to be shown in the in the model, but not for calculations, only for the plans. Okay, so maybe one example of the use of a sketch can be like this. Like I was doing some trials about some skyscraper just for fun, okay? But just an idea of what is the sketch part, okay? Is when you are thinking about the building and maybe you're not very interested in, maybe you're interested in the shapes. Like in these examples, I didn't create every floor. I was only interested in the part of the shape that was going to have. Maybe I can do this when I'm having an idea and I'm going to show this to the developer. And what about this? Do you prefer that in that way? Should we have another shape? So I'm not very worried about anything related to standards or anything, only thinking about the design. That could be the part of if I do only the sketch. Another example of the use of a sketch is something for instance, for an architectural tender, something like in this example. This is the Serpentine Pavilion. This example was done almost exclusively using the sketch. If here in the layers, we can check it by pressing that button that shows or hides the sketch. If we do this, we will see that almost everything is a sketch in this example. Only the stairs and the furniture are not a sketch, okay? But it's fine if my goal is to make something that is shown and can be used, for instance, for making this kind of blueprint. I'll show it 1 second. I'll show it. I prefer the Acrobat Reader, the way it says with the Acrobat Reader. Sorry, sorry about this. I have 2 screens. Imagine I want to do something like this. This is perfectly, this is done with the 2 programs I'm going to show today, okay? The model was drawn in the sketch part, and then this was made with OpenBIM layout. Perfectly creating the sections, different 3D views, and things like that, okay? So that could be the use of only a sketch. Let's close these windows, okay? You get a general idea of what I mean about the sketch. Right? That could be that kind of example. Then, in other occasions, is in this. We're interested in the sketch part, but also in the architecture. When we talk about architecture, we are not talking about drawings anymore. We are talking about construction elements, spaces, which means that the building is not, this is not the only step, but we want to continue with this model. For instance, if I want to do the thermal analysis, I want to calculate the loads of the spaces. In that case, I have to take care about the building, about the composition of the wall, about the volume of the spaces, this kind of thing. So one way of working with this program is that begin with the sketch and then convert the elements of the sketch in architectural elements. Okay, so that could be, in this example, we have used the two elements, the sketch, but also the architectural elements. We use the sketch as a help. This helps us in order to draw the architectural elements. Only a little view of this so you can see the kind of elements we can create, curtain walls, of course, all this. We edit, close like that. there's only general idea, okay, the railings. Of course, in this program, we have options of like copy, which allows us to create one floor and then copy it as many times as we wish. So we can go faster. Okay, only a general idea of what is possible to do with this. We can create these different sections and work in the different floor plans. This is another example. Okay, sometimes it's very helpful to use first the sketch, but then convert it to architectural elements. Okay, so what we get if we use the architecture is an IFC, which has all the structure that we expect in an IFC. Like I will show you now one example of this. Well, this is train station. Different views we can get. These are already created, but we could do more. Another example, like in architecture, as well as in vertical elements, horizontal elements, and that, we also have, for instance, swimming pools. In this case, it's nice, the kind of railings. You see the shapes that can have this kind of element. Well, only an overview of this. And I wanted to show you this in order to explain better what you get if you do this. This studio, I'm going to use it many times during the seminars. So we'll get back. We'll know this one day. This is the example I showed you before. Okay. Here when we export it, let me try to explain what I mean by the IFC we get. Here in this example, we use a sketch, but if we make it not visible, we can see the structure, the elements of architecture. Okay, so when we create, for instance, a wall, these properties are the properties that the IFC is going to have. If we export it to bin server.center here, okay, we will get an IFC, and I'm going to open it just for a moment. So this program BIM Vision is also can be downloaded from our website too, completely free of charge. Okay, if this is only it's a viewer of IFCs. If I press here to open, okay, so
this is kind of new application, Maria.
Well, it has
BIM Vision, the BIM Vision.
there for a while. The thing, this program is not from CYPE. If we read here, I think it's interesting because BIM Vision. One second, I went too fast. Let's see. One second, please. Here, we want, for instance, Vision. That is BIM Vision. Okay, and I think it's a nice, interesting program because it's a free viewer for IFCs. So it's very useful to know the structure of an IFC in case you have any doubt of if it's well constructed, it has the right structure of an IFC. It's very good to check it. I use it very frequently. because you know, like I open this and I can see the different. I'm sorry because it's in Spanish, but the part I think can be understood because the elements of IFC are in English. So like here, this is building, this is level, and then with a different element as the walls, I can see here the IFC, the entities, IFC entities. You see, IFC entity, IFC wall, and so it's a very good program, I think, to check that it has the elements we need. Okay, the IFC column. I'm very interested in this because you know when you, for instance, the spaces, when you want the IFC space, if you want the other programs that about the building services programs to get the right information of IFC, it needs to have the levels, the spaces, the that kind of information. So that this program is good to check it out. So, well, well, yeah, that's it. Okay, so that's the result. The IFC that will be read by other programs. So now that we got a general idea of the program, I would like to start an example from scratch, from the beginning. Okay, so you see how it looks like when it's totally empty. Let's do this from BIM-separate.center. What I would do at the beginning is come to my account in BIM-separate.center, projects, and press create new project. I press here, and I'll write maybe from sketch and the date of today. Then I can select the different view options. In this case, visible to all users, so I can share it with everybody. Visible only in BIM-separate.center, that's another option. I can select visible to my contacts. I showed you before my contacts, my agenda of contacts, people I usually work with, or not visible. Of course, we can change it afterwards. So maybe I can begin not visible, and then if I'm proud of my building or I think it's something that should be shown, I change it to visible to whoever I want. Okay. Anyway, if it's not visible, always it can be seen by my work team. Then the type of project, professional, test, or other, and the management of collaboration requests. If it's going to be to anybody, only my contacts, or closed. I'll start in this case closed. Then I press create new project. Okay, here we are. We have an empty project, no files. And let's change this a little bit. How do we begin? Well, first of all, let me close this. Let's open the program because well, one thing is I can have many jobs open at the same time. Okay, I don't need to close that one. I may use it later, so let's keep it there. Now we are going to do a new file of site architecture. The first step is to create a file that is going to be saved in my computer. I say file new. I can browse and select where I want to keep it. If I want, I like to create a folder for that. Of course, it's not necessary, but I like to do that. I create a folder for the name. I don't remember the name I give it to this. From sketch. Okay, I'll copy and paste it. I'm only trying to say the way I think things work better. Okay, so we find everything and okay, I like to do this to create a folder with a name, the name of the project. I do this and then say the name. The name is going to be house. Let's save it. say accept. And this moment is very important, okay? Because this is the moment where I say in which project I'm working, okay? I gave the same name, but the program doesn't know the connection between the file and the project. Now is the moment. I say I select project. I press here. And the last one is exactly that. It could be another. I can find in my list of projects. Accept. And then finish. Okay, so now the file is linked to the project. So if I press export, I'm going to export to the project in server.center. All right. Okay, so that's the way this looks. By default, we have a floor plan, the 4 elevations, and 1 3D view. I can have different backgrounds, colors. Maybe I like that one, or I can have the classic black, or the one I prefer. Okay. That's the way this looks. Totally empty. How can we start? Well, we have some helps because we could start drawing anytime, okay? Start drawing lines or whatever. But generally, it can be very helpful to have a little help of references. So let's press here in grid, plus to add a new grid. And depending on the dimensions we're going to work with, create the points because this will help us with the snaps. So maybe I want to create a line each 3 meters. So in the X direction, I will, 1 second, 0, 3, one. I'm going to do something like a cube, so I make the same dimensions in the 2 axes. Okay, that will be the X, the Y, and this is the Z, the elevation, all right? So 6, 9. We can change the color. That will be shown. This will be shown. Any color we like. And this is important. The visible. This is what makes it visible or not in the where we are working. We can have many grids in the same file and make it visible or not while we're working. Let's see how this looks like. We accept. Here we are. We're in the floor view. Let's go to the 3D view. This will be our little help. Okay. With this, I think it will be much easier to create anything using those references. I could do like that. I'm working in the 3D mode. I could do something like that. Very easily. If I want to go with more detail, because it's like all of this is a floor, maybe I prefer to do 1 second. Like this. So these are different. Okay, I separate, or I can do like that. It depends on maybe the phase of the project. Okay, of course, you can use it in order to do other kind of shapes. Okay, whatever it can be helping us, or okay, that's a general idea what we can do with the grid. And anyway, we can use a reference lines or things like that. Okay, in this case, I'm going to do an example without the grid, only drawing in the place I prefer. Okay. let's make it not visible. No. Okay, now we are in the floor. What can be helpful is start, because here we can work in many ways. We can work in the 3D directly, or we can work in different floor plans. Okay. In this example, I want to work in the 3D. I would like to show you how you can work here in the 3D directly. Let's start creating a quadrilateral. Maybe I want this example could be a floor plan of a single house. Okay, let's do the interior distribution and then create the real height and with the roof and all of that. Okay, let's start with the sketch. First of all, to make sure I am in the floor, I can create 1 second already. Sometimes I like to use the grid in order to create my first quadrilateral and then continue. I'll do that this time, okay? I can use a grid in 3 points, or I can use the diagonal. Let's do this and start with this and then stop using the grid. Okay, like that, for instance. Okay. And this is my first, it could be a room, and then let's continue using this. Could be, let's see, maybe I want to, yeah, that could be nice, like that. Like that. And then let's use mark here. For this, I could use, for instance, a line. That's up to you, okay? But I like using some kind of reference. Like that. That's the way this looks, okay? That could be. Now, what could be the next step? Let's give it a height, okay? How can we do that? Well, before we do that, sorry, I want to show something that is important, because I want to extrude the surfaces. But in which direction is this going to extrude? Well, it depends of which side of the surface I am, okay? Because this has two sides. So one interesting way of knowing in which side I am is to create colors. The colors can be used for many things. It can be used in order to tell if it's the different materials. Maybe in that moment I want to if one type of wall, another type of wall, bricks for bricks, things like that. Or maybe it can be the different spaces. That's how I'm going to use it now. So it's the distribution of a building. I want to separate the different spaces with these colors. Or maybe it's a big building and I want to separate the different flats, different for every user. So it can be used as I want. In this case, as I said, also can help me in order to know the direction of the surfaces. So let's imagine this is something like just imagine. Let's see how the distribution could be. Maybe this will be a big living room. Let's choose orange for that. In one side, I'm going to do this. In one side, I choose the color I want, and in the other, I keep the blue. So I accept the color, and now if I do assign color to this surface, they will change. In this direction will be orange and then blue. Okay, let's see. Let's continue. I can do now the corridor. Assign color. And then maybe I want to have the two bedrooms to be this color. Same color. And then let's have another room that is going to be the dining room. Okay, I'm going to do this with this color, for instance. Okay, whatever. This has no bathrooms. It's okay. Just okay. So an example. Let's see. Now that we have this, let's make it look well. First of all, 1 second. One thing that can be nice also, because you know, like this is maybe now I'm designing the building, so I could stop in this step and show it to somebody and tell me, well, I like your distribution or I don't like it. So let's not spend a lot of time doing this if it's only the first step. Okay, so if I'm doing this, maybe it could be helpful to create labels to show what I meant with the different, because I said the names of the spaces but never created any label. So let's do that. I can assign a label. If I press here, I can say that, for instance, living room, sorry for the spelling here, is that one. If it's very small, I can second a little bigger here. Okay, and that's living room. Corridor, bedroom 1, and bedroom 2. Then okay, something like that. I can show it to somebody, make different copies. Let's see, okay, like different, oh, it has a button. Let's make more spaces, whatever. Okay, just a general idea of what we can do here. Now, let's make it seem like a house. How can we do this? First, I would use the extrude tool. Let's use this. I can select here the length, the extrusion. 3 meters could be nice. So let's press here. Like that, okay? And now that we have done this, we can make the roof with another, in this case, could be this polygon. Do this. Okay, I use the different elements of this. This is an arc, but divided in many different segments. Okay, so that's it. Anyway, if I want to see the interior distribution again, I can use this to hide it in order to hide this. It's not useful. Sorry, this will working for architecture only. Okay, sorry. If I want to, I can have it. 1 second. This is the 3D because okay. I can make it with different transparency if I want. Okay, maybe here in colors. Maybe I want. Let me check it. Yes. The opacity can be changed. so I can see this side with more easiness. Okay, something like that. All right. So now, maybe, well, we are in the sketch all the time, and maybe this is a good moment. If I have finished this, the next step would be to go to architecture, because in this case, I want to make it as a real house. So how do I do this? I go to architecture tab, change it here, and this moment, I think it's important to pay attention to the levels, okay? Because when I was drawing the sketch, I was drawing freely, only thinking about what I said, the shape, the different drawing elements. But now, if I'm really doing this, I want to create it as a real file that can be read by other programs for thermal analysis, acoustic analysis, or whatever. It needs to have those elements. So let's pay attention to that. Let's explain the levels and the floors. Because here, you know, like we were working in 3D, but also had this floor view, but never really say how many levels you are having. Like here is very important in IFC that structure, the levels of the different levels of the building. Okay, so how does this work? If anyway, always we have even an empty file starts with a floor, one floor view. Let's assign the levels to the floors. In this example, I would have two levels: the level for the spaces, the level for the living spaces, and then the level for the roof. This needs to have two levels. So how do I do this? I come here, I change to architecture, press the level button, and here I will add the levels. Here I will create a level floor level with 0 elevation. I'm not going to create a floor view because I have already created that floor view. Okay, so I only accept, and then add the roof level, which is going to be 3 meters from the ground, and I create a floor view. Okay, so now if I accept, I'll have the floor level and the roof level. Let's save it. Here I am, okay, with my floor and my roof. Anyway, when you are in a floor view, you can also have the 3D, okay, I'm pressing, you cannot see this, sorry, but I'm pressing in the keyboard my shift button and then the wheel of the mouse. And I can work in the 3D even though I'm in a floor view, okay? So I can change in every moment. Sometimes it's more useful to work in a 3D. Sometimes maybe you will find easier to be in a floor view. That's up to you. I'll give you some tips about how I think is better, but maybe you will get another conclusion. Okay, that's up to you. Let's more or less now I hope everything is understood. If anybody have any questions, please ask in the chat, okay? And I'll try to answer as soon as possible. Well, let's make this into a real building, into an IFC construction. How do we do this? We will use these tools, the construction elements tools. With these vertical elements, we can draw walls, curtain walls, lofts, railings, the kind of things we saw in the examples. In this case, it's going to be a wall. So let's press here. If we press wall, we can start drawing a wall, any direction as we want. Okay, this can be done. I mean, we can start in architecture, but this example, I'm going to use my sketch. So there's a very, it's important, let's see. Okay, here, the vertical elements, wall, there are two ways of creating entry mode. This by polyline or by points means that I'm going to draw the architectural element, but this one, the option per surface area, is the one that uses the sketch. So I'll convert the sketch into a wall. Now, this part, the label, is important if we want to export it and that our program is, this file is correctly read by other applications. So let's create a label. The label here could be the type of wall. For instance, if I want to have only one type of wall of a certain thickness, I only have one label, but then the reference is the name of this specific element that I'm showing. Okay, so in this example would be wall, and sometimes I think it's usual to put in the label the thickness of the wall. That could be something very usual, I think. So could be wall 30 centimeters, for instance. Of course, one little moment. If you don't want to work in these units, you can change it here. Okay, I don't know if you use the international system. If you don't, here you can change to other units you are more comfortable with. Okay, in my case, I'm fine with the international system. Okay, so whatever, 30 centimeters per surface area, and I select the adjustment. Again, this is important depending on what you're going to do afterwards. The surface, that's all right. Okay, and the color, the one of the wall that can be changed afterwards if I want. Now that I have decided this, I only have to press in different elements, and they will this case. Okay, and that could be the walls. If this is still having these colors, but if I press the show hide sketch, now I have the walls. Okay, this is only a reference for me. And what could I do afterwards? Maybe I can create the interior walls. How can I do this? Now I can. These are dynamic menus, so there's no need to close and open again. Now I can do this. I select internal partition, surface area. Let's check the level I want to use, the floor level. This is going to be this case is going to be 15. Really, the important thing is the thickness I write here, not the reference, okay? But I like to, if I can, do the best way possible. Let's check this adjustment, that's okay. Do we have a, yes, that could be fine. And now we only have to press here. We convert it to internal partitions. I usually like to check it. Pressing here, okay, just in case I have forgotten to do anything. Okay, I think it's fine by now. So what I think I have finished with the walls. The next step could be the horizontal elements. Now how can we do this? Horizontal elements, floor slab, it's important that in this case is the roof level, okay, and label will be I'm going to have only one roof, so that's going to be the name, the type roof. I do like this because I think it's better for me, and the color for roof tiles. If I do this by points, I need to be selecting the points of the lines. But if I do this will be much easier. I only have to press here and get the different slabs, okay? Then, if I want to do the same thing with the floor, please don't forget to do this floor level. Then this will be the screen. Let's check this. Change this, sorry. This per surface. Okay. This is starting to look better. Let's do this. Okay, I forgot one thing. This part, this is for the last thing I wanted to do with this, because I want to show you how to convert it into a glazed with surface. Okay, so a bit more interesting. Let's do this. I press here, and then there is this option in openings. We have a lot of options: opening, so a hole, a door, window, skylight on the roof, or glazed surface. If I use this has these already some colors. I can create a glaze surface. It's in the floor level. Again, I prefer per surface. If I have done the sketch, it's better per surface, okay? And let's check. Let's do this. We select different surfaces. And again, okay, so I make sure I haven't forgotten anything, okay? And then I could do like the final detail is to make some textures so it looks more like a building. Maybe I could come here because like in here the sketch we made colors, but that were only for the sketch. Now we can go to architecture and select different textures or colors to the different elements. Maybe I can come here, and instead for the wall, instead of this color that is a bit sad, maybe I can maybe this one is a bit nicer. That's something like this. Okay. Maybe I want to show the here for the roof. I want that. Something like that again. Not the same color for this. I will choose another color for the screen. The screen is going to be gray. Okay. So now that I have chosen only that's I know that's not very important, but I want to show you the tools, the use of the tools. Okay. Imagine I have changed this. How can I change faster to the others? I could use copy elements. I select this. First, copy elements. Then the element I like or I want to use as a model. And what do I want to copy? The color. In this case, the color, okay? The other things are already right. I do like that. Right button, and that's changed. Okay? So that's about it. Or maybe I could create some let's see. Little railing. I'm sorry, yes. What I want to do is not, yes, a railing, okay. Something like that. I decide where this is going to be. I use that. Now I'm using the structured element, okay? Okay, I think that's about it, okay? I don't know if they're going to give me a prize for this. Like, it's only a little example, okay? But it could be, well, 1 second. I almost forgot one thing very important, the spaces, okay? Because I have the levels. I have the walls, the screen, the roof, but I don't have the spaces. And the spaces are very important for other programs because for the analysis, right? So let's create the spaces. How can I do this? There are many ways of creating the spaces, and I'd like to show, if I can, the three ways, okay? Let's save it. Here there is the automatic saving options. I think it's a good idea to have this, that every 5 minutes the work is saved. And even you can use this, save after analysis or designing. That can also is another save option. Okay, so you saved your work. Okay, so how do I create these spaces? That's the way. Well, let's see. Let's do this. I come here in order to create the spaces. Either maybe it could be helpful to be in the floors in that view. I think that could be nice to be in the floor view because it's more comfortable. Okay, or I could be in the 3D view and start hiding elements. Okay, or the things that are not making me feel comfortable. Okay, anything that's again is up to you. No, there's not only one way of doing things. I don't know what's this. Why have this here? Well, no, that's important. Okay, I have this green thing here. Well, let's forget this. Decorate the garden inside the house. Okay, just something I did by mistake. Sorry. Well, how do we create the spaces? Let's don't forget what we were doing. The spaces can be created. The easiest way is this: detect spaces on plan. This is a new feature. I only have to choose the floor, the horizontal floor, and automatically the program reads the space. Let's show it. I click here, detect spaces on plan, and then no plan. Oh, sorry. Well, if I try to do this, it says to be able to detect a space on plan, you must be on a plan view. Okay, so I always do what the program tells you. Okay, let's go to a plan view, detect spaces on plan, and we said this was going to be the living room, so that will be living, because maybe in other programs, maybe in sector A plus, I want the living rooms to have certain, I don't know, renovations of the ventilation properties or whatever. So it's important to give a proper name. Okay, that will be the living room. The space we can use the reference automatically made if we want, but that's important. It's indoor, yes, and the height will be that. Okay, that will be fine. So now, because I only have to press here, and automatically get the space. Okay, so I think that's a good feature. That's what I said is a new feature. One thing that is important too is that we have this button, automatic updates. If you have this tick, as I recommended you to do, if we release a new version of the program, this will be automatically installed in your computer. Okay, so like every, I don't know, maybe month and a half, we get a new version. Now we are in the 2021E, but maybe in a month or something like that, we'll get the F version. So it can be interesting to have this. Always click, so you get the new features. That's way that the space is on plan. Let's continue with this because it's the fastest. Go to this corridor. Okay, that's fine. And then, for instance, I want to explain another way. Okay, by wall and floor slab. Maybe I recommend you to do this, but if for any reason this is not working fine, you could use this, or space by wall and floor slab. In this case, this will be for the what did I say for the bedrooms? In this case, is wall and floor slabs. First, you have to select the walls. Maybe I can rotate a little bit. And then, when I'm finished, the floor. And that's it. Okay, that's another way. And another way is by polyline, which means that I'll do that. I'll show you. I check space by polyline. I give the name. Level. And then I have to, maybe in this case, it's better to be in this view. Okay. And I choose all the elements of the polyline. Stop. That's, oh, this didn't work fine. Okay. You see this? Maybe I can adjust the space. Okay, let's repeat it. Something, okay, that's the way I show you the way it is to check. You can check always how the space was made, okay? If it's on the surface or not, or the volume, sorry, or the volume or not. In this case, let's repeat it. That's it, okay? And something happened with this. Because this has two tabs. Okay, what happened is that it is separated into different surfaces. Let's see. So if I only check one of the floor slabs, it doesn't work. Let's see if I do this better this time. And if it doesn't work, okay. And then when I finish this, okay, now this went fine, okay? That's it. Well, now that it is, I think now we have really finished this part. Okay. So everything, I think this could be finished. If I think I haven't forgotten anything. What can I do now? The next step will be to export to BIM-server.center. Okay, so how do we do this? We come here to this option, BIM-server.center, and export. We can choose a name for the file. That's right for me. I accept. In this moment, the program is exporting the information to the platform. This was fast. This is saved also in our computer. That's important, okay? The IFC. Here in the synchronizer, you can check the path where this is going to be saved, okay? So, well, anyway, we can find it in our computer also. But export finished, okay? What I wanted to show you now was how this is uploaded to my account, OpenServer.center, or to my account and the account of my work team, if I had. Let's come here. It hasn't. Okay, it's uploading now. If you see this is, I don't know if you can see it because it's very small, but there's a little white arrow, which means that this is loading. Anyway, you can see here, read it here, okay? That in this moment, the process is being, yes. Well, time has gone very fast. I think I have only half an hour left, so I have to go really, really fast for now. Let's see. Well, this is finished. Okay, so now if I come here, I can see here last change a minute ago. If we come here, okay, we can see our design. What is, I think, interesting that we can share it. Okay, we can share it with the developer. We could, sorry. Okay, we can, and okay, this is only starting, but we can be adding more information about the building information, building services, the structure, etc. All right. So that's the way this works. Here, if we come to files, now we have the IFC and also all the information of the construction elements, the spaces, the 3D of the spaces. Okay, that's why it was important. The different, of course, the sketch, but okay, the construction elements and the space information. Okay, so that's what is going to be read by other programs. Okay, so about, hope this was understood. One thing that I want to say very fast, but I think it's important to know because all this example was done all in the 3D, but maybe some of you prefer to work in 2D, like the more classic way of working with a template given by somebody else. Okay, because this example, I tried to make an example as if I was doing, as I was the architect, like starting to create a project, thinking about the building, the different possibilities, and show it to somebody, exactly things like that. But maybe the case can be another. Maybe somebody else did the drawings, and I'm asked to do the analysis, but I want it to be in an IFC format. Okay, maybe the architect has given me the WG or DXF, not in an IFC format, and I want to start a project that can be used and read by BIM programs. Okay, so how could we do that? That part, of course, I'm not going to do all the example, only the beginning, because I think it's interesting, right? So how could we do this? Here in the, we could do here in project, I could say, okay, not visible. Okay, this the name of this is from templates. So how can we do this? I'll keep this because maybe I want to show it afterwards for some reason. Let's open CYPE architecture, new file. In this case, this, I'm going to name it new house because it's the templates I have. Except again, now this is the same process as before. We choose select project. Okay, the name. So we link the file to the project. I always like to explain this because it's important to understand the difference between the project and the file. From templates, finish. And now in this case, there's no need to do anything in the sketch, since I'm not drawing anything or thinking about the different shapes. I know this is given to me, so I start in architecture. And in this moment, I start with the level thing, okay? Deciding the levels. For instance, here, well, I'll do this in a different way, so you see the different ways of working. I'm going to, here, if I come to the floor that is already made, I can come to edit and associate the floor 0 to a level. Well, sorry about this. I'll do levels first and then associate. I can do the level, the first level will be floor level, and I want to create a floor view. That will be from the beginning. Okay, I want to do this. I'm going to delete this and start from the scratch. I prefer like that, okay? I think it will be easier to understand. Let's do like this. I delete and then start with levels. I'll create level 0. Create floor view. Accept. Level 1. 3 meters elevation. Create floor view. Then level R, level roof, for the roof level. Elevation 6 meters. If I do this, automatically I have through plans, through 3 views, horizontal views of the different levels. Okay, that would be, I think it's more understandable like that. What do I do now in order to link the drawings to the levels? I use this button here, DXF DW template button. Here, oh, sorry, here, the other, the same but in white. Okay, here, that option. I press here, then add, and it comes to my templates because I already did before. Okay, but if it wasn't the case, I have to find my templates. All right, this is what I was given. This DXF, I select them, open, accept. These are the DXF I was given. Okay, I only have to accept and then associate the different floors with those templates. So here, if I'm with level 0, I come here, I come to this button and select this view. Here I am. When I'm with level 1, I press here. See this? And now in level R, for the roof level, I press here and select the roof. So here I am. Now it's very easy to start drawing. I go to vertical elements. I'm working in the floor. I come here to wall. I know as I want to go fast, I don't give a label. I select by polyline and start drawing. I can use this capture, the template object snaps, that allows me to choose the points of the template. So I did this, and of course, I can change to a 3D view, and that's what I'm working and what I'm doing, okay? So it could be the same thing, but in this case, drawing directly the construction elements and in 2D. Okay, I'll stop here because I want to show you the OpenBIM layout program, but I hope everybody got the idea of what we can do in this program. Let me.
Yeah.
1 second.
Hello.
Yes. Is everything fine?
Fine, thanks.
Okay. 1 second, because now we are going to change the program. Okay, let me check that I have explained everything I wanted to explain. Okay. So that's I think that's about it. Okay. In the case of now, let's change to OpenBIM layout, which is programs for drawings. I think it's important to know what do we want to get with OpenBIM layout. What's the objective of this? The objective is to get a drawing, a blueprint of our model. It could be WG, DXF, or PDF. And I think maybe we could separate in two kinds of drawings. The ones that are for more technical or about installations or that kind of thing, or maybe it could be for an architectural tender. It could be those ways more artistic, if I may say. Okay, so I'll show you some results and then open really the program. Okay. Here I have some examples.
Okay, Maria.
Yes.
I will announce for the attendee if they have any question, can use the chat or maybe can use the raise hand.
Yes, the chat is okay. The chat is fine. Of course.
Okay. So because this is the time is so much tight, but so
yes.
you can use you can show me the email layout and the attendee will be send the question. Oke, bagi teman-teman ataupun Bapak Ibu yang ingin punya pertanyaan,
of course, no problem.
Dapat menuliskan pertanyaannya di dalam fitur chatnya. Terima kasih. Please continue, Maria.
Yes, okay. So examples. I wanted to show you some examples of what you can get with OpenBIM layout. One example could be of if we have this house. You can find this. This is when you install the program, you get here some examples. I think I didn't say that it's important. If you press in the examples button, you get some already made jobs, so you can check them out. Okay, have a little, spend some minutes looking at that and see how the different possibilities. And in this case, with this example, with the isolated house, with this one, is how we made this drawing. Oh, sorry, this not the other. Some drawings I'll show you now. The single house layout. In this case, in PDF, but of course it could be for a WG or the DXF. Okay, so that could be like the video of the house and the plans. Okay, it's possible to create to add files, not only of the BIM model we made, but also add other files. So that could be the plan, the place where it is in the parcel, where the parcel is. Okay, and that's the floor plan, another floor plan with the generating the surface table. Yeah, another one, another example that with a section, the longitudinal sections of the house. These with some monochrome images, another from the interior. You know, this would be, I guess, the classical use of the program, maybe the plans that you have to get of the house. But also, it is possible to create something more aesthetic. For instance, I'll show you now. This little example. Like that one, okay? Because that could be for an architect or a tender. So you can add different, using drawing elements, you can add these kind of lines and then be a little bit more creative about the format of the different elements, okay? And also adding the 3D view of the model, okay? That's only a little example of what you can get, okay? Now, another thing, maybe I'd like to show you one example that is already in the program. Let's see, 1 second. Here. This is the one used to create these drawings, okay? Let's open this. And then afterwards we will do from the beginning, okay? So using the one we created with CYPE architecture. Okay, that's only to show how the PDF I show you was created with this file that you can open from, if you install the program, you can open it and check it out, okay? So how they created the different plans, the cover, the location, the different floor views, the sections, that kind of thing. Again, here in OpenBIM layout, we have layers as well that you can make it visible, not visible, etc. Okay, that's one thing. Let's see. I'd like to do an example from the beginning. So when you use it, you know how to start. Okay, because there's finish, and I like to explain how things how this works. Okay, so let's close this to be more comfortable. I'll try to do a little bit of what we did. Okay, I'll explain what we did. We here in CYPE architecture, we exported to BIM project. Remember, we did that. Okay, so the next step will be to do the drawing composition. So we'll do the OpenBIM layout. All right, I'm going to explain it that way. But OpenBIM layout reads information not only of CYPE architecture. It can read information of any project. So it could be, for instance, uploaded by IFC Uploader, for example. Okay, you know this program that is for any IFC we have received. We can upload it to a project, and then OpenBIM layout will read it. Or it could be maybe we can start with Cyber Architecture and then continue with the different building services. So Open BIM layout will read these services. Okay, I didn't want to forget to say this. Okay, so in this case, the flow we're going to follow is that we did the building in Cyber Architecture and we'll continue with the drawings in Open BIM layout. How do we do this? Well, here in BIM Center, I press drawing composition button. If I do this, again, the name is okay. Say yes. And what this is going to do is to create the IFC and it will open the program. Okay, this opens the program for me. Now I say new. I select the folder. If I think it's better if I choose the same folder, so everything is in the same place and I can find it easily. Remember, we were in the example from Sketch. Okay, that was a sample from Sketch. Let's come here and let's give it the name house layout. I'll accept. And now I select the project. From Sketch, accept. Next. Because this is important, okay? Which files do I want to include in this file? This one from Cyber Architecture. I could have more. Finish. Here I am, okay? Here I am with an empty file. Anyway, things that I think are interesting. What I think is more interesting to know is this. The 3D scene. Because in this button is where we really say what we want to read from the BIM project, okay? So that, for me, that would be the first thing to do, to come here to 3D scene. Again, that's my point of view, okay? Let's press library. Here, if I press here to new, here I have everything I did from Cyber Architecture. What is the meaning of this? The scene. Maybe in this case, I have only the architecture, but I could have the architecture and also the installations, or maybe I could have the furniture. One I'm interested in showing the distribution with the furniture, things like that. Okay, but maybe it's more understood to use different disciplines, like the structure, the architecture, the plumbing, all right? So I could create different scenes. In this case, I only have one scene, and I'm going to call it architecture. In this scene, without doing anything, I have two floors. I have the floor level and the roof level, these floor views, and a 3D view. This is like a, I don't know, like a present to say, I don't know how to explain, okay? Something that is already done, but I can change it because maybe this can be fine, maybe because in this I can see the different distributions, but maybe instead of this, I want to have I want to create maybe here. I want to create an elevation. Okay, I press here, elevation, accept. And then I have to say from where I want that elevation to be. Maybe I want this. So let's wait a minute. One thing I want to show you afterwards is that I can one second, please. It's important to finish, okay? I have to say from where and the direction, the perpendicular direction. Accept. And here I have one elevation, right? And then I could create different, maybe I want to create a section. Sorry. Here to here. Or maybe with this. Okay, like that. Okay, and I save it. Okay, okay. So that would be the different options. One thing that I want to explain is that I can change on the side what I want to see or not see. Maybe I don't want the sketch to be seen. So I can, here, I can unselect it. So then this will not be shown. So that's important. You know, this is very simple example. What I did was very simple, but it could have the furniture or it could have more information. So I could have plans only with that information or whatever, okay? It's only a little example. Okay, what do I do now? Now that I have decided the scenes, as I say, this is empty. One thing, one important thing is that I can have templates of the different formats. In my case, here in library, I have I can import to my here a template I already have of an A3. Second, like that, okay? I have a template which has also different substitute tests. So I can go really fast changing one in what displays the name and it will be changed to my project. I'll explain it later, okay? I'll go back to that later. The thing is that we can create templates. These templates can be created with our own program, okay? With the drawing elements. That was how these were done, all right? With using these tools, like with an empty sheet, we created a template. So now that this is done, all of the things I want to explain are the styles that we can have, the different line, thin, normal, thick. Then, of course, we can change the type of line. Okay, scale factor, the pen thickness, the printed color and identification color. We can, on the screen, we can see the printing color or the identification color. Maybe we don't want so many colors seen in the screen, but so it's more simple, but in the printing we want another. In my case, I prefer printing color, so I see the final result. Okay, the next step will be to create a sheet. Is with this button, with new sheet. The reference, imagine, is the floor plan, all right? I want the floor plan group. I'm going to call it the architectural plans. The format, as I said, A3 horizontal. I'm going to use the same for the sheet, so the template works for me. And now see this, the template. It's optional, but it can be very useful to use a template, right? So I choose that template I show you, and well, okay, the template will be in layer 0. I accept. And here I am. Okay, I have this sheet with the template, and I can add anything from the scene or any other element or any other file that I have, or even symbols. So, for instance, I could come here, insert. I say the space I want this to be. I don't know, like it could be like that. Okay, and now I can decide what I want to see from the scene. I explain it here. Okay, so what scene? The architectural scene. Which view? Remember, I could have the level, Mason. Okay, whatever. and choose this. The scale, it could be depending on the zoom. This means I can change it with my mouse, with the mouse of the computer, or I could choose predefined scale. Okay, we have different options of this, or any one. Imagine there's a specific scale that I don't find, I can write it. Okay, anyone. Maybe I choose depending on the zoom. I can choose this. Of course, here I can even rotate it or do whatever I want. I could choose normal image or monochrome. Maybe I prefer monochrome in this case. I can choose the image quality when editing, is here in my computer, or another for when printing. That's important. Okay, that's important if my computer is a bit slow, or maybe it's better to don't choose a very high quality here, but the important thing will be the quality when printing, and that's quite good. And of course, the kind of background we want. When we have finished, we press here, and we get that. Okay. Also, we can add any. See, maybe I want this, but also this in the little space here. I want to add the 3D. Okay, so we keep in mind the general idea. Anything, I could add a text here. Okay, things that I think that are very, one thing I don't want to forget to say is that, because I think it's a good option, is this, the tag. This allows me to get the information of the IFC. So this is not only a line with a certain thickness, but like, you know, only a drawing. It's more than that. If I press here in tag, and then here, I get the information that from the element, the constructive element. This could be done with this, but also it could be done with the furniture or the maybe. Okay, remember we selected different thickness for the external wall, the facade, and the internal partition. So that's what I get. I could get more information if where the sanitary appliances or anything. Okay, so that's not only a drawing. That's a lot more than that because it's has a connection with the BIM project. Okay. I only have five minutes, so I think I cannot explain much more. Only a minute. Give me a minute, please. The two things I don't want to forget to say. One is the user symbols that you can draw, for instance, the north, to say where's the north, or maybe anything that you like to add can be added here. Also files. We could add, as I showed you, like the picture of the where is going to be the building, anything. So not everything has to be done in this program. You can do it from here. And another thing that I think is very interesting, well, the dimensions, of course, you can measure things here. Another thing is the substitute text option that I think is very useful because it allows me to very fast. Here we have this, like it names the number of sheets, for instance, or like that. But also, what I did here with the template, if I import here my template, select all, this allows me to have this, like I can go very fast, like creating, I don't know, you know, like the status. Maybe I want to say that this is not finished. This is the first phase. Please. Okay, if I create here first phase, this is changed here. And of course, this is a very small example with only one sheet. But imagine we have created 20 of them, or using this here and also in the different texts there. Okay, here I can use this. This is something I like, so that's why I want to explain a little bit, okay? If I use this, I can copy. Let me see. I copy this, and then I copy the text, sorry. And then I can use it any way I want in the program. Here. So what I write here is read. First phase, for instance, okay, is read in the different sheets. So that this kind of features, all right? So well, I think that's about it. There were so many things I wanted to explain. I hope you got a general idea what can be done. And of course, if you have any more questions or requests, you can find us at support.cype.com. Okay, so Ivan, I cannot see. Well, thank you for attending. Thank you for your time. I
Okay.
cannot see any question in the chat.
Yeah. I can see the question too, but because the question just only us for us.
How to ask? Okay, okay. So,
For us, for the attendees, can see the attendees first the question.
okay,
But
I can see the chat, but only your question. So, well, anyway,
okay.
if any question
Okay.
about any
Anyway,
attendees,
maybe it will be the question about from the attendee. How about to make the presentation like pavilion, the like an usual presentation in open BIM layout? How to make it? There's will be this is the we use Homey show us
yes,
the standard one of the presentation of the open BIM layout. How about
yes.
the pavilions ones? How to make them?
The other,
The other, like
okay.
the pavilion ones.
Okay. Like, sorry, I want to make sure. This one.
Some people is asking what's the difference between IFC Builder and Cyber Architecture, and that they were using IFC Uploader and the Revit plugin to import the models. So they want to better understand the workflow.
Okay. Okay. The difference, IFC Builder that can be also downloaded from our, is still available here. Is in this program you work always in 2D. You generate the 3D, but the way you work, let's see if I can make it a bit bigger. Yes. In this case, the way you work is similar to what when I was explaining how to start with from a template. Okay, so you have you work in 2D, and of course you get a 3D view, but you don't have all the possibilities of designing that has cyber architecture. Okay, so I mean, I've seen cyber architecture is the evolution of IFC Builder. That could be an explanation. Well, one advantage of IFC Builder is that it has the 2 steps. It creates the architectural model and also the analytical model, which can be useful for other programs. But cyber architecture has a lot of more flexibility in the design, options about the design. Vicente, any more questions?
About the Revit plugins?
Any more questions? About the, okay. The other way, okay, because one way, there are a lot of ways of working. In this case, I was explaining when you start in this workflow, starting with cyber architecture, all right? But we could start with Revit. In this case, Yes, because this, like in this, this represents the program, site programs, right? It could be OpenMe layout, for instance. How do we get this? If we have Revit, what we can use is the plugin here in the store. Let's see what. Here, plugin OpenMe Revit, that is also free. Okay, you can download it, and this, if you have this installed in your Revit, you can create a new OpenBIM project from Revit. So very similar to the steps we made, that we created a project from CYPE Architecture, it can be also done from Revit. So we start the project in Revit and then continue with our applications. And another possibility is that you want to start with an IFC that is created by Revit, but you don't have Revit. In this case, the way to work is with IFC. With IFC Uploader, that allows you to start a project with an IFC. Okay, you do here. You create a project in BIM Server.Center and then add the IFC to that project. And then you can continue with the other applications.
So if you have another authoring architectural platform, you can like ArchiCAD, you can make tests for the 3D physical models for works in SAP environment. Right, Maria?
You mean from other applications?
Yeah, other applications.
Maybe other, yes, like, yes, you can plumbing, other structures, and all together goes to CYPE Architecture.
Okay.
Not only the part of from CYPE Architecture.
Yeah, what I mean is, Maria.
Yes.
There's about how from Revit to site or maybe a SAP environment like a BIM to BIM Server Center. So if others we use another authoring software like ArchiCAD, like Outline and others, maybe we can take the physical models from them.
The IFC?
Yeah, the IFC.
Yes, you could start with that IFC and the OpenBIM layout will read it. Totally, no problem.
Okay, and let you show me the pavilion like I asked before, Maria.
This? Okay.
Yeah,
you mean about this? Okay.
How to make it?
Yes, well,
maybe it will be interesting for us in Indonesia.
Okay. And this was done by one of my workmates. So he's very talented, I think. I was impressed by that. Okay, so that's the question I had. How did you do this? Okay, he explained it to me. Okay, the way to do this, because the one part of what is interesting to know about this is that this is a combination of drawing elements. Okay, the elements that are here, and also the different 3D scenes. The part of so here you see the layers. Well, I could unselect this layer, so I'm not seeing the 3D scenes. So that's the part of the drawings. So what he used in order to do this for different lines, he created a special type of line with a lot of thickness. Okay, so this here, in the styles, he created a special line with this thickness. So, and this is nice because here you can see like with a little these holes, but then in the PDF, is not seen like that. Of course, he admitted that he spent time doing this, okay? Like it wasn't automatically done. You have to try, but you see this, I think it's pretty good result. Okay, so this was done by lines. This part was done by lines with that special thickness and color. And then again, this was done by drawing with these polygons, only doing this kind of thing. And this, okay, we have these two types of text. This is very simple. The text one, you only get one line to write. But with that one, text box is, you have more options, okay, or the paragraph and all of that. So he chose the thing, I think the secret, I think, is that he used these drawing elements. So, okay, and then make it a bit nicer like that one with a special separation. Okay, that was what I meant with the text box. Okay, you have more options of how you want this to be read. This is the part like the most, maybe this concept would be added here, because then the part of this, the different section and all of that, this was done here in the CD scene. This is the one, because you know when you come here, it's only the dimension of the result. But what is more important is this. You know, in my little example, I did two squares or two 3D scenes. The one for the plan and then another small one. But here there are so many of them, okay? Every time you see this, because he created a scene, okay, that you can make changes. So how did he make this? If you come here to see the scene, library, there's one scene, and here there's the floor views, the different elevations from every side. One section. Okay, we could create as much as we wanted, okay? And in this case, everything was added, but we can, without the furniture, with the furniture, okay? If we create a copy, we could create this with the furniture or without the furniture and change it, use it whenever we want. Okay? Is it what you wanted to know? Come on, is it answer the question? Did I answer the question, sir?
Yeah,
Okay.
this for sure answer the question.
Okay,
And
okay.
others question, Vincent?
I think it's all. That's all.
So, okay.
Okay, that's all. So the open BIM layout make all possibilities more convenience, right, Maria? So it can be doing anything in open BIM layout, right?
That's it.
Okay.
That's it. And I think it's getting more interesting when you add more and more information, like, you know, the building facilities and all of that, and you can combine only the things like that. Exactly. I hope you have found this interesting.
Okay. Okay. Maybe we can close now.
Okay.
Thank you for the presentation, Maria.
Thank you for your time.
Oke. Terima kasih pada para presenter untuk sharing yang luar biasa pada hari ini. Oke, terima kasih. Kami ucapkan kepada presenter webinar hari ini yang sangat luar biasa. Thank you, Maria. Thank you so much. Sebelum acara ditutup, kami ucapkan terima kasih kepada peserta yang telah senantiasa menyaksikan webinar ini sampai akhir acara. Kami mohon maaf atas kekurangan selama memandu acara, dan jangan lupa, masih ada rangkaian webinar lagi besok dengan waktu yang sama dengan tema New Structural Solution in 2021 version. Terima kasih banyak Maria atas presentasinya. Thank you very much, Maria.
Thank you.
See you in next webinar, Maria.
Okay, see you next webinar.
Dan bagi teman-teman yang ingin menonton ulang acara ini, materi presentasi dan rekaman akan kami kirimkan melalui email. Saya Kemal, Akilantis, dan CYPE Indonesia mau undur diri, kiranya acara hari ini dapat bermanfaat bagi yang menyaksikan. Sampai ketemu pada webinar kami berikutnya. Terima kasih. Selamat sore.
Selamat sore. Good evening.
Sore. Terima kasih semuanya.
Sama-sama. You're welcome.